Once upon a time, there was a mother goat who had 7 little kids. She loved them very much and took great care of them. One day, before leaving to get some food, she said, "Dear children, be careful of the wolf. If he comes, don't open the door. He has a deep voice and big, black paws." The little goats promised to be careful, and the mother goat left, hoping they would stay safe. Soon after the mother goat left, there was a knock on the door. "Let me in, my dear children, it's your mother," said a voice. But the little goats could tell that it wasn't their mother. "You are not our mother," they said. "Our mother has a soft voice, but yours is deep. You must be the wolf." The wolf realized his voice gave him away, so he went to the market and ate a big piece of chalk to make his voice sound softer. The wolf came back and knocked on the door again. This time, his voice sounded softer, like the mother goat's. "Let me in, my dear children, it's your mother," he said. But the little goats saw his big, black paws through the window. "You are not our mother," they shouted. "Our mother has white feet, but your feet are black. You must be the wolf." The wolf was angry, but he quickly thought of a plan. The wolf went to the baker and said, "Cover my paws with white flour." The baker was surprised, but he did as the wolf asked. Now the wolf's paws were white, just like the mother goat's. The wolf returned to the little goat's house and knocked on the door again. "Let me in, my dear children, it's your mother," he said. The little goats looked through the window and saw white feet. This time, they believed it was their mother. The little goats opened the door, and in came the wolf. They were so frightened that they quickly tried to hide. One little goat hid under the bed, another in the closet, one in the oven, and another in a big pot. The wolf found each one of them and swallowed them whole, except for the youngest goat, who hid in the clock case. After eating the 6 little goats, the wolf left the house, feeling very full. When the mother goat came home, she was shocked to see the door wide open. She called out for her children, but no one answered. She searched the house and found it empty. Finally, the youngest goat came out of the clock case and told her everything that had happened. The mother goat cried, but she quickly decided to find the wolf and save her children. She and the youngest goat set off to look for him. They soon found the wolf sleeping under a tree by the river. His stomach was so big because he had eaten so much. The mother goat took a pair of scissors and carefully cut open the wolf's stomach. To her surprise, her 6 little goats were still alive inside. One by one, they jumped out, unharmed. The mother goat was so happy to have all her children back, and they were all very grateful to her for saving them. The mother goat told her children to bring big stones from the river. While the wolf was still asleep, they filled his stomach with the heavy stones. Then, the mother goat sewed up the wolf's stomach. When the wolf finally woke up, he felt very thirsty. He went to the river to drink some water, but the stones in his stomach were so heavy that he fell into the river and drowned. The little goats were safe at last. The mother goat and her 7 children were so happy to be together again. They danced and sang, celebrating their safety and their cleverness. From that day on, the little goats were much more careful. They always remembered to listen to their mother's advice and never opened the door to strangers. They had learned a very important lesson: always be cautious and trust your instincts. The wolf was never seen again, and peace returned to the little goat's house. They lived happily, playing in the meadow and helping their mother with daily chores. The youngest goat, who had been the cleverest by hiding in the clock case, was praised by his brothers and sisters. The mother goat was very proud of all her children, and she knew they had become smarter and more careful because of their adventure. As time passed, the little goats grew bigger and stronger. They never forgot the day the wolf tried to trick them. Whenever they heard a knock on the door, they always checked carefully to make sure it was really their mother. They learned to trust each other and to work together to stay safe. The bond between the mother goat and her children grew even stronger after their experience. The mother goat continued to teach her children important lessons about life. She reminded them that the world could be dangerous, but with caution and wisdom, they could avoid trouble. The little goats listened to their mother and followed her advice. They knew that even though they were small, they could outsmart any danger with their clever thinking and teamwork. They were never fooled by strangers again. One day, while playing in the meadow, the little goats saw a shadow in the distance. They quickly ran back to their house and locked the door. They remembered the story of the wolf and knew they had to be careful. But when they looked through the window, they saw that it wasn't a wolf at all, it was a friendly dog. They laughed at their mistake but were proud that they had acted wisely to protect themselves. The little goats told the dog their story about the wolf and how their mother had saved them. The dog listened carefully and admired their bravery. He told them that it's always better to be safe than sorry. The little goats agreed and promised to always be on the lookout for danger. The dog became their friend, and they played together in the meadow every day, knowing they were safe with their new friend around. The mother goat was happy to see her children playing and enjoying life, but she never stopped reminding them to be cautious. The world is full of wonderful things, she said, but there are also dangers. Always use your heads and never trust someone who seems suspicious. The little goats nodded and promised to always be careful. They had learned to balance fun and safety, thanks to their mother's wisdom. As the seasons changed, the little goats continued to grow. They became more independent but always remembered the lessons their mother had taught them. They knew that they could handle any challenge if they stayed smart and worked together. The memory of the wolf faded, but the wisdom they gained from that experience stayed with them forever. They were stronger and wiser because of what they had been through. The little goats often told their story to other animals in the meadow. They wanted everyone to learn from their experience and be cautious of strangers. The other animals listened carefully and thanked the little goats for their advice. Soon, all the animals in the meadow were watching out for each other, making sure everyone stayed safe. The little goats were proud to have helped their friends. One day, the mother goat gathered her children and said, "You have all grown so much. I'm very proud of how smart and careful you have become. You are no longer little kids, but wise young goats." The children smiled and hugged their mother, thankful for everything she had taught them. They knew that no matter what challenges they faced in the future, they could overcome them by being clever and working together. The story of the wolf and the 7 little goats teaches us the importance of listening to those who care about us and being cautious in the face of danger. The little goats were able to outsmart the wolf by staying alert and using their cleverness. In life, we may face challenges, but with wisdom and teamwork, we can overcome them. Always be careful, trust those who love you, and never give up hope.